Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. We thought we'd do a video tonight instead of, well, we're going to show this during the live show, but we wanted to do a video just to get through it, I guess.
Yeah, and you're going to hear a puppy dog panting in the background. She's an old little puppy dog, so you'll hear some noises because usually we have headphones and things on. So what are we talking about, honey?
Oh, because Dale put out his emails about everything, or some emails, I don't know how many he's got, but because he put out some of that stuff, I guess you were going to share a story, right?
Yeah. So there's one story that I'm just going to say comes from my perspective of what I feel I know, and I am going to name my source and things. And I know I'm trying to figure out why others may have a different memory on some of these things, but I've also noticed that some of the people that had a different memory of like what happened June 6th at Forrest House and things, it eventually all works its way out. So rather than me waiting for absolute proof of something, I'm just going to put out what I know. I hope that the people that enjoy what I know or what my perspective enjoy it, and if you don't believe it or you don't, I just kind of want to put out the information I have because we're all kind of trying to seek the truth, if you will, and figure out this ending. So are we ready to do that?
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, well, so I'm going to have to talk about a few different things that have happened. I'm going to try to keep this brief, but this relates to the ending and was there a nudge gate or, whatever else. One of the reasons that I said in my PowerPoint, I don't have a PowerPoint tonight, one of the reasons that we have cats and dogs everywhere, sorry.
Didn't make it. Jumped up on the counter and didn't make it.
One of the reasons that I believed that there could be a nudge gate was because of what I called the family intervention. I don't know if that was the right term because we know Shiloh came in and said there wasn't an intervention, etc. But now we have an email from Dale that he provided that said, I talked to many people and they're all unanimous to call it off. So I don't know whether to call it a meeting or what. So I'm just going to tell you what I know and why I know it. So let me start with why I know it. One of the reasons that Forrest and I think we became friends was two main reasons that we talked a lot about. My mom passed, I guess it'd be 11 years ago now. It was still fresh in my mind because I actually found her and it was sudden and she had an estate that had to be dealt with. And we had some executor issues and it was really a raw time. And so I talked to Forrest. And the second one was my kids are registered Cherokee Indian. And man, he wanted to talk a lot about that. He had a passion for American Indian heritage and talking all about that. So those are the two main things that we talked about a lot. He would ask about my mom and what was she like and memories and, just things like that. So one of the things I was frustrated one night and I was talking about how do you choose your executor? And especially me as a single woman that had kids, and I have to really think through that. So it was really interesting because he gave me a lot of insight. He said, don't choose who you're closest with necessarily. Choose the person that no matter what, will do what you ask. If it says on there, burn every bit of my stuff and put it up in flames, they'll do it even if they don't want to. And I thought a lot about that, like on my own piece. I'm going to get rid of my own piece now, but we had a lot of discussion about that. And he said he had picked a particular person because no matter what, she would absolutely do that. And I thought it was interesting because it's somebody that maybe was as strong-willed as him. And so we went back and forth with, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting choice because I thought there was, maybe that would be the reason. And we talked a lot through that, which was kind of cool, just to hear his side of things. He was a teacher, if you will, in an informal way. Okay, so fast forward. I'm sorry I'm babbling because this is bringing up a lot of stuff from the past. So I went to visit, and it was only me visiting, and he said to me,
This is before the chest was found, correct?
This was well before the chest was found.
Making sure.
He said, I've had something happen and I think I would reconsider the decisions I've made. And I related to the estate, etc. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, he called it a family intervention. And I said, what does that mean? And he said, well, the family sat me down and they told me I have one of two choices. The day I pass away, the chase is not something they wanted to be involved in. And the day Forrest passes is the day that they will either say the following day as a family, it was a hoax or it was called off. Or, it was a hoax or the treasure chest has been found, is how he put it. And I said, oh my, how did that go? And he told me a little bit of the details and kind of who was there and what happened. That doesn't matter as much. It will become important a little later though. And I said, how do you feel now? That's kind of making you reconsider your estate piece. And he said, yeah, because if they won't do what I want in the chase, why would they do what I want in the estate? And
I see. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. They're not going to obey his wishes on this. Why would they obey his wishes on something else?
And they said, there's nothing you can do. Once you fast, if the family all says one thing, people are going to believe the family. Like, oh, there was never a treasure chest out there or whatever that was.
Mm-hmm.
So there were some other details that aren't really pertinent to it. So I went, okay, I just told him, I kind of listened. This was a rare time that I just sat back and listened. And he was really... he really struggled with what was presented to him. So now let's fast forward maybe a month or two. And I think it was Margarita Mondays, but I might be wrong. I know Cynthia takes notes on everybody's
Margarita Mondays.
Yeah, with Cynthia. And I said, did you know, it might have been a phone call. I don't remember. She'll have notes on this. I won't, so you can ask her. I said, do you know about the family intervention? And she was surprised, and she said, what do you know? And this was kind of, there's a couple of rare times that I trust Cynthia a lot, but it was one of those, like, I wanted to make sure she kind of knew, and she wanted to make sure that I wasn't just like kind of the fishing expedition. So she said, who did you hear it from? And I said, well, who did you hear it from? And she said, Dale. And I said, I heard it from Forrest. That kind of, okay.
So that means Dale and Cynthia and you, at least three people knew about this, what Forrest was
thinking.
thinking.
And Dale had heard directly from Forrest. So we were in a little bit of a unique situation because I was like...
Cynthia heard it from Dale.
And Cynthia heard it from Dale. And so I said, well, tell me something particular that you had heard, or we kind of just started going back and forth with. I said, Forrest was really struggling with it. And she said some details that I knew that were kind of true. Like there was an interaction between one of the children and one of the grandchildren. One of them kind of agreed and one of them didn't. And I knew that detail. And then when she said the actual names of the people in the exchange during the time, I went, okay, you obviously know, when you get those particulars, those little details, you kind of go, oh, okay.
And Shiloh was there?
I'll just say in general, the family, it doesn't matter the particular people.
Well, I'm just saying Shiloh came into our chat and said there was no family intervention. So I just...
Shiloh was there from what I understand. Okay. Maybe he didn't see that as a family intervention.
Maybe
he saw it as a meeting or a discussion.
Yeah,
well, and now that Dale's email said everybody, I discussed it and everybody thinks, I should call it off. That was the end of the family intervention from what I heard, or the family meeting, discussion, whatever this right term is they all agreed it's time now if we're having this much dissension.
Do you remember what year this was? So first off, there's no secret recording between you and Forrest?
No. Sorry. Okay. I don't do that, guys. Sorry.
Do you know what year this conversation happened? Do you remember between you and Forrest? Was it before we got together, before the Jamie Jordan drawing?
It was not the first time. I only met him once before we met. So
it was after the Jamie Jordan drawing.
Yeah, so it had to be 2018, late 2018 or early 2019 would be the time frame. I don't believe it wasn't 2020, so I believe it was 2018 or 19.
So you, Cynthia, and Dale knew about this, and as far as we know, Cynthia and Dale haven't talked about this little family intervention, if that's what you want to call it.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm not sure why it wasn't. Actually, I think you super chatted for me and asked about, was there a family meeting? And Dale said no, because here's the last part
that
of it.
Was on.
I said, how did you know? And Cynthia said, Dale actually traveled to go and see Forrest, and we knew that he was writing his biography, and he was doing all those videos for his biography. So he was kind of capturing all these stories. Yeah, and they had kind of a long talk about it. Because this one, I want to say, it was probably the only time that things got, I think, really bad. Because here's the thing that Forrest always said to me. He managed the business, Peggy managed the family. And I think Zoe kind of took over the mama bear as Peggy was family. And so they had a very good understanding of who kind of led which initiatives.
Right.
This is the first one that those two worlds came into collision.
Right. I mean, the breaking news, if I had the soundboard, which we're not at the command center, but the breaking news is that the family said, and you tell me if I'm correct or not, the family pretty much told Forrest, if you don't end this, the day you die, we're either going to say it was a hoax or that it's been found, just to end it. They just didn't want to deal with it, and they wanted it over.
After he passed.
Oh, right. That's interesting.
So would this perpetuate him and what was happening in late 2019 that we already know with Dale? The reason that I'm coming out with this is I know what the source was, which was Forrest.
He told you personally.
He told me personally, and I believe Cynthia, and she had heard it and had enough details that I believe Dale knew, but I didn't ask Dale directly.
No, I know what the question is going to be. Well, how'd you guys not say this back then? Well, you're not, just like the email between Forrest and Dale. Dale's not going to post that on his website and go, hey, everybody, Forrest is thinking about ending it. That's personal between him and Forrest. Just like your meeting with Forrest, that was a personal conversation. Now, after Forrest has passed and the chase is over, I think it's okay to come out with these things. But I understand why at the time you wouldn't be like...
Wait, but I came out with it 3 months ago in a PowerPoint, and everyone's like, unless you can name sources...
But again, that was after he passed away and after the chase was over. I'm talking about back when it happened, why you wouldn't put it on Thor and say, hey, everybody, I just came from Forrest's house. And that's why you're not going to say it then. It's a personal conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that, and there was a lot of times that Forrest would say, don't say this or don't say that. I'm struggling with this. When it came to the chase and the people in it and all of that, that we had discussions that were private and confidential kind of thing. And this one seemed very personal. He had several times thought about calling off the hunt. Randy Baloop, Harris Wallace was the one I was around for, and I know he struggled. So this wasn't newfound information. That there was several times. This one just happened to be related to family pressure, but I think we all knew that. I think there's a few searchers are like, no, his family is so on board with this. They're just not in the know, and they thought they were. This one was direct enough.
That might have been the first time they gave him an ultimatum where if you pass away and the thrill of the chase is still going, this is what we're going to do. You know, that type thing.
Right.
So.
Well, so I shared my little bit, and I do hope it's seen as just a positive. I don't think it changes anything. It just kind of sets the mindset of what Forrest is going through in the last year or two. But since I shared something, I have found something that I thought was really, really important. And Mike really doesn't think it's a big deal. But this is breaking news to me.
To you, okay. And then maybe it is to some of you out there. I just never thought it was important. But
so I actually think this is going to surpass, because I've already basically said what I just said. I said in a PowerPoint with a square. With the
nobody believed you.
And nobody believed me. There's the backstory.
But back then, you didn't say you got it directly from Forrest, did you?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So they probably just think Capro's making up something. So, okay. So mine, and you guys, I guess discuss and let me know what you guys think. But there is a searcher who, before the chase was over, sent Forrest something in the mail. Okay. A lot of people send things to Forrest in the mail, right? Over the years, a lot of searchers have sent things to him in the mail. I sent him Coin One. I sent him a Chaseopoly. People, the guy that drew the picture of Peggy, you know what I mean? And other people that we probably don't even know about have sent Forrest things in the mail over the years. Well, this thing, I guess you could say, was valuable, okay? So he sent it to Forrest and never got a response, I guess, as far as I know anyway. But what happened was, after the chase was over, and the other thing, that's right. After the chase was over, after Jack found it, etc., this person was in contact with Forrest and just kind of said, this guy kept records of all his boots on the ground. This searcher kept records of every boots on the ground and was like, hey, thrill of the chase is great and all this, and this is how much it cost me to do all my boots on the ground. And he had an amount, which I don't know what that is. But later, after that, Forrest sent him a check for that amount as a thank you to the item that he sent to him in the mail.
And we saw the check. It's legit. Like, Okay, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that there was an actual check, or is it just a story?
Yeah, I
they
don't.
told you?
Well, it's still secondhand. It's still secondhand
But you saw the
info.
check.
Right, but that could be faked. I mean, if somebody wants to be like, so yeah, I saw a picture of something, but
Right, but did the check match from the Jamie Jordan drawing? The same?
yeah, I mean, yeah, I believe it. If you're asking me, do I believe it? Yeah, I believe it. I believe Forrest sent this person to check as a thank you for the item he sent them, Forrest, as a thank you, and it just happens to be in the amount that this person said, this is what I spent on boots on the ground. So to me, why do you think that's such a big deal? Like, to me, it's a way of Forrest saying thank you for what you sent me. So why do you think it's a big deal?
I think it's unique.
Yeah.
I think,
well, that could
I
be.
don't think Forrest did that with other people that I know of, but if you were given something of Forrest, like how many hours and
Forrest, right.
hundreds of hours did we do for many things?
Right.
Jamie Jordan drawing, etc. We didn't have any of that.
Right.
And would you say this particular searcher is doubting the ending? Oh, wait.
I was wondering if you're going to remember that part. So you guys remember a while ago, there was a searcher. I had a bet with a searcher, right? And basically he told Forrest about the bet. And Forrest basically said, nothing is as it seems, and I wouldn't pay any bets. This is the same searcher. So Forrest sent that person a check. It just happens to be the same amount that they spent for boots on the ground. So the way I look at it is if we had a big billboard here and we were trying to figure out the ending of the chase, these are all just different things we would plug in. The intervention with the family is a note card, and this thing about a searcher is a note card, and then you draw the strings and you figure out who the killer is. No, that's not a killer. That's different. But if we were trying to figure out what really happened with the end of the chase, these would all just be bullet points, right?
Now you
to
say it was after June 6th.
I believe it was, yeah.
It was definitely.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah,
I would say it's just before Forrest passed.
Well, between June and September, how many months, right?
July,
yeah,
so it was July or August.
I believe it was. Wait, no, Forrest passed. Was
September,
it that? Yeah, that's
just
right.
after Memorial.
So yeah, I guess it was in that area. And again, if I got any of this wrong, I'm sure that searcher will let me know. So, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it went down. I don't think it's that big of a thing. I mean, I don't know.
That Forrest, after June 6th,
right,
told a searcher not to pay any bets about it being in Wyoming, and then sent him a dollar amount.
But let's be clear, what Forrest says is, I wouldn't pay any bets. To me, that means Forrest wasn't a gambler. I think he meant overall in general, I don't pay any bets. Forrest didn't say specifically, don't pay a bet because it wasn't in or anything else. It was just, I wouldn't pay any bets, period. Right. I don't want to make sure
I
it's
have
not
one other question. Do you believe this particular searcher believes Jack found the treasure? The treasure is found, it is done, and this is all just nice in a little bow?
The searcher believes something else is going on, especially when Forrest sent the person, nothing is as it seems. I mean, what does that mean? We don't know. So this searcher thinks there's still something else to know, and maybe it'll come out at a future time, which we hope as well, that it'll come out at a future time. Whether somebody puts it out or we figure it out, that's what we're trying to do. But
so I think it's breaking news. He doesn't. A lot of you, he thought what my information was is breaking. He's like, we've already discussed it on a show. I'm like,
I thought
we
did.
haven't, because that's big in my mind that I haven't. Because I still am wavering between holding confidence that are more personal and what is okay to discuss, because it is intermingled with his family and things. So
and you really would only disclose what is related to the thrill of the chase. I mean, personal stuff should probably be
there's some other pieces to that whole story that are only personal, I believe. So
between
I'm
you
not
and Forrest,
so I'm not going to share that.
Right. So it's just interesting. We thought we'd put it out there. And why did we make a video and not just talk about it live?
Because for me, I wanted to make sure to put out and not get distracted, especially by a negative comment in chat, and then be kind of heated about it. So then I get distracted.
That's true.
When I'm sitting here with Mike, we're able to kind of go back and forth and have fun with it and be organized with it. I'm having fun with his. About mine, I just wanted to have fun with kind of my...
Okay, well that's it, everybody. So now we are live and we showed this, so now we can discuss it. So
Here we
take
go.
it away, Kate Rowan.